So I'm going to say roughly 1.5 million in annuity potential moved over money. Not to say that they don't have more than that.
So let me translate that to $100,000 of additional potential income for you.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Okay.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Annuity Fundamentals. I am your host, Kylie Malat, joined by our co-host, the one and only Mr. Ryan Anderson. Today, this episode is brought to you by leadshop.org. So if you are looking for a marketing company or a CRM, check them out. They might be a good fit for you. But let's move on. Today's episode, we have a very special guest, and I'm excited to hear from him. We have Casey Rees with us. Casey is the owner of Crestwood Retirement Solutions. And I met Casey a couple months back, and as he went through Annuity Fundamentals, so we connected through that, and we've been able to watch Casey's progress throughout the past few months and see where he's taken his business from health to wealth. So, Casey, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, no, I got to be honest. This is kind of a fun thing with Casey here. That he came into our class and he attended the class. Now, one of the things about this is you're not a newbie to the insurance world. You used to own a farmer's agency, so you're heavy in the P&C side of things. You've been in the industry for about 13 years and kind of focusing on Medicare and and if I remember right, the story you told me, and I'd like to hear a little bit more about that, was you were in the insurance world, but you had friends around you that were also in insurance and financial services, and their lifestyle for the amount of work they were doing compared to the amount of work you were doing, there was a difference there. Some of them were making a little bit more than you thought they should have. And you came through, you found Annuity Fundamentals. And actually, I think, Kylie, you took that initial call and we brought you in a class week. I mean, you were like, I don't want to wait. I want to get in a class now. And we kind of go from there. So, Casey, tell us a little bit about your background and how you got there. And then we'd really like to hear your story about how you came to Annuity Fundamentals, what's been your experience from there, and just kind of go from there.
Yeah, cool. Thank you so much. And first and foremost, just thank you for just being awesome and giving me an opportunity to be on this podcast. I've told Ryan and Kylie that I enjoy running, and every morning I listen to you guys, and so it's going to be really weird to listen to me while I'm out on my morning run. So I might have to just skip this one. So, but yeah, so I started,
we need the views. We don't. You
okay,
listen.
I'll just do it on repeat over and over. And
okay.
over. But yeah, I started in the insurance world with farmers as just a total scratch agent with no customers, no policies, and just started that way about 13 years ago. And about 8 years into farmers, about 2 years into farmers, I knew I wasn't going to be doing farmers for my whole life. But it took me a number of years to kind of get positioned in a way that I could leave farmers and still have a bit of a footing. So I have a good friend of mine who we spend a lot of time running together, biking together, and he's a financial advisor for a pretty large firm here in Utah. And just during our conversations, I kind of saw him get his start in the financial world around the same time, actually after I got my start. And to see the way that his income was just skyrocketing in the first 5 years compared to my income, which, I wasn't a slouch. I was doing well with farmers and I was getting, awards and going on trips, but I was not making the kind of income that my buddy was making. And he was doing annuities and a lot of assets under management. And he's a super great guy. He's always like, man, you really need to look into how to get into this side of the business. And farmers had a financial solution side, and they would have reps come around to meetings here and there. But all they would do is kind of present to us in a one-time, event with really no information on how to really get started. And so I found those meetings, I'd always be like, man, I really would like to get into that, but it never seemed like it clicked in my brain with how to do it. And so fast forward a number of years, and I chose to leave farmers. I sold my agency and I dived headfirst into Medicare and did Medicare for a couple years. And Medicare was doing great. I've built a base of 400 or 500 clients or so. And that's been okay. I haven't, knocked it out of the park, but it's been steady. And just middle of last year, I was with my buddy again, and I just said, I won't say his name, but I'll just say, hey, man, I need to figure this out. I have to learn what you're doing, because I mean, he'll be making north of $1 million in commissions with this firm he's with. I said, I have to figure this out, man. And he said, hey, this is what you need to do. Like, just go get appointed, get started. I will teach you everything I know. I don't really care. I'll help you. And so that was on my mind, and I really was thinking a lot about it. And obviously, the way the internet works, I probably talked to my wife about it, talked to other people about it, and then all of a sudden, this Annuity Fundamentals ad popped up. I think it was on YouTube, and it just felt right. Like, I think it was Doug McDermott. I don't know exactly what one it was, but I got caught into it, and I started watching it. And immediately I was like, this seems like maybe something I should look into. And so I started looking into it, and within literally, I think that day, I was like, this is it. I know it is. These people seem like they're going to get in the trenches with me and help me. And within a matter of, I think, 2 or 3 days, I registered for a class, and they wanted to push it out, I think, to the next one, which was 3 or 4 weeks away. And I was like, no. Like, I need to do it now. Let's just get this ball rolling. Like, I've thought about this enough. I'm years into this decision. Like, let's move. And so you guys were awesome and helped me get going in an earlier class. I think I had to play catch up for a week. But yeah, that's, I know that's long-winded, but long story short, I'm a big believer, at least in my life. I call myself, I'm a monkey see, monkey do type person, where if I can see someone has done it, or they can show me how to do it, I'm okay to go get hit by the bus a couple times and dust myself off. But if the tools are there and the support's there for questions, I know I can make it work. And I can honestly say that the Annuity Fundamentals and the class I went through and the support I've been getting is exactly that. Like, they will help you. They will, get you through the first, big obstacles, but then they're there to help you and support you. So that was my experience just so far, and I'm super excited about it. So I don't know, that was long-winded, but I generally am long-winded when you give me a chance. So sorry about that.
I love it. No, that was great, Casey. And like, you left such an impression on me, because I want to say December. Does that sound right? That timeline?
Yeah, I think it was,
when you started looking. Yeah.
December.
So I remember getting on that exploratory phone call, and you were just like after it. Like, you can tell, I can always gauge, where an agent's at in their business by their enthusiasm. And you were ready to go. And it wasn't just that you were ready to go, but it was like pedal to the metal. So I was like, yep, we have new classes starting. And just where you had fallen, the new class had started the week before. And you like didn't let it go. You're like, I can't wait another 2 weeks. Like, I need to do this now. Can I get in now? And just by that, like, tenacity, I was like, okay, yes. And so I called Ryan. I said, hey, I got this guy, and he seems like he's ready to get after it. And so he seems with it. Let me do a catch up with him, and we'll redo week 1, and then he can just be on week 2 with us. And Ryan said, okay, sounds great. Send him in. And after every class, we debrief, right? We talk about how the class went, and you were always a topic of conversation. And I just want to mention that because there are a lot of agents who want to change their lives, want to take this class, and they are so like adamant on my exploratory phone call, like, yeah, Kylie, I'm ready. There's a difference between saying I'm ready and actually being ready. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again, like, we can't start your engine. Right? We can't be your motivator, but we can help give you the tools that you need to drive on the road as fast as possible. And so you coming in with that mindset, that is everything in this industry. You have to have the right mindset and to say, okay, this is the long game. And if for me to have a career out of this, I can't just keep doing what I was doing. I mean, especially, I know if you're a runner or athletic in any way, there's something wrong with us athletes. That level of competition, like, we just have like something in our brains that's like, push me harder. I want to go faster. I want to beat them. This guy, no way. Like, I'm better than him. It's just like how we operate. And so I can only imagine going on those runs with your buddy. You start at the same time, and your degrees are different. Even that 1 to 2 degree that he ended up in a different destination than you did. And I could see just just from your personality, right? Of like, that doesn't sit well with me. There isn't anything that this guy can do that I can't, and I'm missing something. So kudos to you. And I'm sure there are agents out there listening to this and saying, that's where I'm at. Like, that's exactly where I'm at. I see these people around me succeeding, and I just don't know how to get there. I've went to this training 3 months ago. I've done this, college couple months, like a year ago. And this is what I want. I want to be those guys on stage. I just don't know how.
Yeah.
Like, the how gets in so many people's ways. So I guess talk to me about your how, right? You've been in the industry. You were there for 13 years. So how did you get to the next level?
Yeah. Well, I love everything that you said, and you're absolutely right about the mindset. But I have to be honest, and I think if we're all honest with ourselves, I don't think that mindset is always on all the time at every single minute in our lives. And so I think me being the fact that here I am 13 years in, I'll be 40 this year. I'm happy, I'm stable, my family's good, we're comfortable, but I still haven't achieved that level of success that I want. And it's not all from money, it's other areas too. And so one of the things that my buddy said as we were biking together, because he kind of got to some of his financial wins, and he's a couple years older than me. He said, Casey, I just realized, I didn't realize at the time, but looking back, I realized that I didn't settle. I never settled for what I had. I realized I was in an industry that literally the sky was the limit, and I just didn't settle. And so ever since he mentioned that to me, I've kind of like dismissed age and all these other things and said, listen, Casey, don't settle. Like, you have these dreams, you have these things that you want. You're in an industry where millionaires are made. Like, they're made. And you're not out there having to invent a new product, figure out how to take it to market, manufacture it, distribute it. You're not having to do all these things. All you're having to do is really manage yourself. And so I think the insurance world in general and the industry that we're in, I think it's just you have to find your timing in it. And I've had moments when I've had all gas, 100%. And when I first started Farmers, I was that way. But I feel like I've maybe kind of entered this new chapter where for the last year I've been like, hey, I know I need to move the needle for myself. And it's kind of culminated to this point right here with you guys where you're exactly what I needed at the right time, and I'm ready. And so that's just what it is. And I don't want anyone listening to this to be mistaken. I have a long ways to go, and I have some big goals, but it's just the beginning, and I'm excited to work with guys and gals like you. So, yeah.
Well, the thing about it is there's 2 or 3 points that you just brought up that I think are really critical. Number one is it's amazing how lucky hardworking people are. If you think about that, it's like, wow, they're so lucky. Yeah, they work 40 hours a week. They don't work 40 hours. They work 60 hours a week. And there's a lot of little cliche, little sayings I've heard over the years that your success is determined by what you're willing to do when you don't have to do anything.
Sure.
Or your in your spare time is what determines what happens with the majority of your time. And I mean, all this stuff. But that our system, and we've got a wonderful system. It's a proven system. Doug McDermott started developing it 40 years ago, and he, on 4 separate occasions, he has taken organizations from little to no annuity production to over $1 billion in production. It's a proven system, but it's a garbage in, garbage out system. Sure. And what we mean by that is you get out of it what you put into it. And I want to really let's break this down a little bit here. So you came into this with, I am ready to do this, and there was a high level of intensity, and you started a week behind. And I remember that first time I met you in class. Kylie had the one-on-one with you, and the first time we met in class, I think we might have spoken on the phone beforehand. You were there, and you had your homework done. And what struck me about that, there was another lady in the class that didn't, and she was there the week beforehand. And we can really tell by the end of the second week who's going to be successful and who's not. And it's like, okay, that guy's got game. And every week you came through and you had questions, and every week you came through and you had your homework done and done exceptionally well. Then let's go ahead and finish the class. All right, Ryan, I want to go through and you called us and you worked with us after that. You came to Boise where I live. We spent a day in my office, which this is part of the process. Yeah. We spent all day together going over our systems. You attended a seminar that I put on of your own time and money. You drove to me because I wasn't able to come down to you. Yeah. You contracted with a company to go through and to start doing seminars. Now, what impressed me the most about that was you didn't even have the system figured out yet. It was, all right, I got the seminar here. Now, what am I going to say? Yeah. All right. Then you went through and you did the seminar. And this last week, so it's about 2 months after the event, you closed your first annuity from that, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
All right. Now, but even more so than that you and I had multiple one-on-one calls. We went through and we had one where we were talking to some folks. Internet went down. I got booted. You had to finish the appointment on your own, and they got through. And I think you're looking to close them later this year. They had some timing things they had to work out.
Yeah.
But you got the Annuity 101 figured out, and I want to come back and hear about that process here in just a second. And then he's like, all right, I sold it. How do I do an application? And so we had to spend an hour and a half before the appointment teaching you how to do an application. And my point to this is there are so many agents out there that we work with that, okay, I need to learn everything first, then I'm going to start this. And it's like, no, that is a recipe for failure. Yeah. So talk a little bit about that. There's a level of fear that comes with walking into an appointment with, all right, I'm going to tell you how great this product is, and I have no idea how it actually works. I have no idea the actual product I'm going to recommend, and I have no idea how to do an actual application if you say yes. Yeah. Was that nerve-wracking?
Yes. Yeah. So I love that you're saying that because, to be honest, you've probably heard this term analysis paralysis, and I think that, candidly, I've suffered from that a lot in my life at different stages of my life. And I think deciding to dive into annuities in this financial world has probably been a combination of a year or two of analysis paralysis, right? Like, I don't have the right licensing. I don't have the right knowledge. I don't really even understand how an annuity works. And I can get pretty detailed. I'm a pretty detail-oriented person to a fault. And so I think the things that you are describing, you seeing me do, is that decision where it's like, look, stop doing this, Casey. Stop analyzing things so much. And you and Kylie both are inspirational to me because as I've been around you and worked around you, I already get a feel for how you roll, Ryan. And it is a little bit that way. Like, look, we're going to just go bulldoze some stuff. And at the end, we're going to have something that's great, but it's going to be a little dirty getting along the way. And that's not to say that's how your system or process is, but you also have some pretty large goals in life that you're pursuing, and you're running and gunning. You guys both are. And so I think really just saying, yeah, let's go do this is a big part of it. But yeah, you've been there like every step of the way ever since I finished the class. You were kind enough to let me drive up there and spend a whole day, and you literally more than I even expected. I remember driving home like, I am fried. Like, my brain is so toast, and you could have just kept going, which blew my mind. I was like, dude, I need to be more like Ryan. But yeah, you guys have been awesome. Tons of support. Kylie saying no.
If you want to be exhausted all the time.
I know. I already know that Ryan literally will run circles and work circles around me. I'm just like, I don't know how he does it. Like, he's just a madman, crazy in a good way. So yeah, we the work ethic is there, Ryan, and I need to be more like you. So, but.
Watch out. His head is going to be so big, it's not going to fit on the podcast, guys. We got to be careful.
I see already. It's like, are you getting closer to the screen?
No, it's true, though. It's true. We still go out and we do live events, and I remember getting a text, really. It was 9:30 at night, and I was done. Like, we had started at 7. I was like, don't talk to me anymore. Like, I am clicked off, and he was like, let's have a debrief. And I remember like fake crying, but like real tears in my room being like, how?
Done.
Like, what do you mean? And then just like going, but like, I mean, you surround yourself with successful people, you will become successful. And so
Yeah.
you wrote your first annuity. Like,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about that, right? There's a
Okay.
whole process.
That's all
Tell
right.
us a little bit.
So yeah, that was funny. I called Ryan, I think the morning of, and he's got a lot on his plate. He's helping a lot of agents, and I don't think he quite realized. I literally was like, dude, I don't know, like what's firelight? Like he's like, wait, hold on, you. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what firelight is. There's probably a video somewhere in the academy you guys give us access to. I know there is. There's so much in there, but he's like, okay, slow down the horse. So he showed me firelight. I logged in, and yeah, he held my hand through getting everything prepped and ready for this first client, so that when he showed up, I basically, he would have, the day before, he would have gotten everything done, and I had to kind of come up with a reason why I couldn't submit the app that day, because I needed to sit down with Ryan and learn how to do it. But yeah, he made it so that the application was totally teed up and ready, and when the client came back, we sat down and went over everything. A couple of questions I got answered and was able to get it submitted. And so again, that is huge, because those applications, they are gnarly, but they're really not if someone like Ryan can just talk to you through each page. Took an hour to do it, and now literally I feel like I could go do it again now. And it's just having that handhold during the first one or two, and we're not talking just like, give me a call if you have questions. No, Ryan literally like held my hand and helped me through it, and that, for me, like, that is what I needed. And I know I've already consumed so much of your time, and all I can hope is that I'll start writing enough of these to like make it like, okay, Casey really was a good investment. Like, because I'm super in debt right now, and I acknowledge that. So
Well, I'm sitting here is like, the thing about it is that we talk about this, that our why, we like to pay it forward, our system that we go through, and that is our business, is helping agents write annuities. Now, the thing about it, and you swerved into something there, that you did a lot of work on your own, that we give you the tools, but unless you're doing the work outside of class on your own and implementing them and stuff, that there's not a lot of success with it. So
yeah.
if we come back to the class, we talk about the key three in the class that we teach. And it's funny that when we created the curriculum for that class, it was a lot more expansive in the first couple of versions of it. I mean, and what we found is we were throwing too much at people. I mean, where we spent hours digging into the different types of annuities and looking at 5 and 6 different illustrations in a 2-hour period of time, I was having a ball, but Kyla's like, Ryan, you're killing people.
Too much.
It's too much.
Yeah.
Or where we sat down and we like, okay, you guys have got to go through and create your own Annuity 101 presentation. And they spent weeks doing that. And then they never gave it to anybody because they hadn't figured out,
Yeah.
we put the cart before the horse.
Yeah.
So now, again, 13 years of experience in this, and we came in there and I'd like to hear what your thought process was on the thing. That number 1, proper company introduction, number 2, a fact finder, and number 3, an annuity tee up. And on the surface, that seems really simple.
Yeah.
Was it? How did tell us? Walk me through
Oh.
the emotional process with everything on that.
Yeah. No, I love that question, and I think that is crucial. So I think the way that you guys have the information broken down, the frequency at which you're releasing the information over the 6 weeks, I think it's perfect. And the reason is because it requires a commitment. I think that those classes every single week, if you actually read through what is asked of you and do it and practice it, it takes some time, and I think that's important. And so I think that you guys give just enough to actually provide value so that you can start applying it in your appointments. And that's what I did. I mean, I literally was taking that company intro and some of those fact-finding questions about how to find the money, and I just started throwing it out into appointments and real-time testing it. And it was exactly it, because, you know, as humans, we like to see the beginning and the end all at once. And it's really not possible, even in this. Like, so, but the most critical thing is the first 80% is the fundamentals, the classes you guys are teaching. know enough to have a basic conversation, to ask a couple questions, to get the info, now you're off to the races. And Kylie and Ryan can help you finish the race, but that's critical. Is just the amount that you guys give and the frequency you give. I want to emphasize too, practice is important, right? Like I think as adults we kind of forget, and we get so used to like how we're good at kind of doing what we do. But man, it's pretty humbling to realize like I'm not very good at this. I don't know exactly what to say or how to say it. And so you guys really emphasizing, look, write it out, memorize it, record it, listen to yourself. That is really important because it just makes it become more natural. So practice is key. And this weekend I was thinking about like, man, I need to sit down and practice those things even more to get better at them. So yeah.
Awesome. Casey, I appreciate you being here. I mean, it's one thing talking about the course and like trying to tell people, hey, this can change your life, and then having someone who actually took it and then closed an annuity within 2 months. I mean,
I'm really excited. And I have legitimately, like I have some pretty great opportunities coming. And that first one was fairly small. But which it doesn't matter. I mean, that's practice right there. And honestly, I'd do it for nothing if it just got me through the system. But I have a lot of really good opportunities that have come because of this. And I'm going to say one last thing. I know you kind of plugged Lead Shop there in the beginning, but I also have signed up for Lead Shop and have spent a lot of time in there, booking seminars and trying to work through the flow of leads and managing things and setting up automations. And again, it takes effort, but it's crucial. Like if I want to grow beyond what I've done in my 13 years, I have to start changing some things and learning some new things. And so Lead Shop, I'm going to put a plug in there that it is a great tool. It's an awesome system. And I've personally really liked it. And I can see how in years to come, it'll really be key to me getting to the next level. So anyway, I like that a lot.
Casey, you can come on again.
Okay, well, I figured do that.
No, that was great. It's nice to hear from real people. Ryan and I have been doing this a long time, and I'm sure agents are listening to us on podcasts saying, okay. But having you be on here and you actually going through it and saying, guys, the proof is in the pudding. Like, I actually did this. I wasn't a new agent. I've been doing this for 13 years. And I changed my systems, and I just did things 1 or 2 degrees different. And now my destination is completely different than it was 6 months ago.
Yep.
And I mean, just that, yes, that was a small annuity, your first one, who cares? It was your first one. Now you know how to do it. And then the rest is just growth from there. And it takes some momentum, and that's what you're building right now. And just to hear you saying, this is one of many, like I have opportunities stacking up, and I can see it doing this for the rest of my life, or the longevity of it, and still going and being a participant in my own life, i.e. your family, right?
Yeah.
Your wife, your kids, things you like to do. This career can really be a beautiful thing if you use it properly. There's too many agents out there that are struggling. So if that sounds like you, if you're just riding your bike and you're going nowhere, like Casey was, right?
Yeah.
Riding in circles, and he was like, I got to do something different. Check us out at annuityfundamentals.com. Book an exploratory phone call. I'll be the one answering it, so we can have a good conversation and see if we're a good fit for one another. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I just want to, I guess, shop one more time. This is brought to you by leadshop.org. They're the marketing system, the CRM behind all of this success for the 3 people on this podcast today. So that's what we use. So that might be a good option for what you need in your tool belt as well. With that being said, Casey, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
We'll need to have you on in about 6 more months and to see the progress.
Yeah, I look forward to it. You guys
Absolutely.
are awesome. And the big thank you goes back to you, really. Thanks for your time and your dedication to everything you've put out there, because it's awesome. So thank you.
Hey, I got one quick question before we depart here for you, Casey. So you took our class 2 months ago. You've closed one annuity. You said you've got a lot of other opportunities out there. Give me a dollar amount. How much opportunity have you found in the 2 months since you've taken that class?
Okay, I'm pulling up in Lead Shop my annuity pipeline here. So here, plugging it away. So we're going to pull up here to Annuities.
He's using the tools. I love this.
Yeah.
You have to actually. Isn't that great?
That's good.
All
Well,
right.
and it's right here in front of me. So you guys, if you're watching the videos, okay. So um, we have. I mean, that first case, Ryan, you helped me on. That's looking good in probably August because they're
Okay.
getting some ducks in a row. I mean, that's 750,000 is the amount we're looking at moving into an annuity, and he's had a lot of engagement with me back and forth. So is it going to close? I'm going to stamp maybe 70% on it at this point. So
Okay.
we have another one that's 250,000, another one that's 175. I have a meeting this week from someone from a workshop I did. Oh, and by the way, workshop, Medicare. So workshops I've just started doing, I'm lining these pipelines, and then from Medicare clients, just learning what I learned in the first classes about finding the money and getting comfortable asking the questions. These are from that. So 750, 250, there's a million, 1.2. Let me come back here to people that have assets, but I haven't really gotten into it yet. Another 300,000, and this is how much I would say we would be allocating. They have more than that. So I'm going to say roughly 1.5 million in annuity potential moved over money. Not to say that they don't have more than that.
So let me translate that to $100,000 of additional potential income for you.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Okay. Just making sure I got the math right on that.
Yeah, I love it. Good question.
I love it. Well, if you heard that and you aren't contacting us at annuityfundamentals.com, it is your loss at this point. So there's a lot of money out there, a lot of money to go around, and not only can you bless your life, but you can also bless the lives of your clients. So, all right. Well, thank you so much, guys, and we will see you next time. Thank you for joining us at Annuity Fundamentals.